Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Yet another unboxing. Alright, hey man, they come in the door. I gotta real time it and get it to you. I do have still that long ass video update. I'm still editing that thing. It's almost an hour long. I've been editing it for 3 or 4 days now. In my spare time when I'm not working 12-hour days. But that's done for 3 more days. So you should be seeing the video update soon. Cheers, says Tito and his friend Orange Juice. Yum. Oh, by the way, it's not just an unboxing, okay? We don't do that regular bullshit here. All right? Got some Japan bootleg action. Actually, what's in here? I got a couple bootlegs. They're not new, they're used. They're kind of like vintage titles. I forget the lineage of this one that's in here. It's a double CD. I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. I forget at this point. And a couple metal CDs in here. Some early presses. All right, jewel case, early press. Those two expressions go hand in hand as far as I'm concerned. All right, which they generally do. Right, early presses were pre-digipack age. All right, so let's just get to it. But also, listen. Here's what I've been listening to the last week. So let me give you some little preliminary reports on some of this stuff. Some of that Zeppelin Landover 77 box. I just got started on that. Some Boston from 87, couple Rainbow titles and some Who. Let's unbox and then we'll talk about some awesome bootlegs I've been listening to. Really, all of them. Really good. All right, so let's do this one first. Now, I know what's in here. Right? I usually don't or forget, but this was such a small order. And I have to say, man, this is a used CD site, used commercial CDs, used bootlegs. And they're over in Japan. A lot of Japanese versions of CDs too, even when it comes to the commercial stuff. But they do carry US versions, etc. However, I'm not going to be using them a whole hell of a lot more. Their base price for shipping, I think it used to be like 12 bucks for like one item and an extra $2 per disc or something like that, okay? Now they bumped it up to $28 as your starter shipping price, all right? I mean, come on, like even if you bought one thing. The only thing I will say is though, there's 4 CDs in here and it was still only 28. So I don't know where they're gonna max out at, but used CDs, all right? That's the name of the site, used CD. Anyway, I'm not sure how much, you know, when I first got on this site, I was buying sometimes 6 or 8 things. And now as I need less and less, I'm not buying that many things, so it's going to really take something special to justify $28 shipping. So that's what's in here. I consider this something pretty special. And I was balking at it, although I wanted it. It was in my car for a couple months, all right? And once I saw how much it was going for on eBay, and being a vintage title, it's not that easy to come across. I just decided to go for it, all right, because the price for the 2 CDs was 28. So anyway, once I was able to find a couple more CDs to make it worth $28 shipping, all right, went for it. And like I said, a couple metal CDs that are early presses. One I haven't even seen at all, even on eBay, all right. The other one I see for a lot more money than what I paid here, so I'm good with it. So all right, let's start out with, I think, the weakest of them all, but I still wanted this. I told you guys I wanted it. I got into reacquired Savage's Power of the Night about a year ago. That is just an awesome freaking metal album. If you don't have that, I don't know what's going on in your brain. I'm telling you, it's killer. So their next album, it was the only album I had from them back in the day, Power of the Night, but then I did get the follow-up, Fight for the Rock. So I know the story with that. I remember it not being nearly as good as Power of the Night, but I wanted it anyway. Check out what we got here. Sabotage Power of the Night early press. This was 12 bucks. Okay, so this is, you know, why I justified almost $30 to ship 4 CDs. Got an early Atlantic. All right, now I'm not sure about today, but when I was on the eBay a month ago when I placed this order, well, 2-3 weeks ago, this was not even, I didn't even come across this. The only one I came across with a jewel case for Fight for the Rock 1986 album. Was a German press, and I'm sure it looks cool. It had a bonus track that was later on Street's album, which I think that album's early 90s. I'm not even sure. But anyway, this is way before that, okay? This one is literally dated 1986, right on there, okay? Atlantic Records, early press of Fight for the Rock. So that's cool. I'm an early press kind of guy, you know? I mean, I'm all up for newer versions if they're better and deluxe editions and all that sort of thing. But, man, this is my only version of this. You know, no such luck being a deluxe anything with Sabotage, okay? All right, so there we go. Fight for the Rock, early press, $12. There's another one that was $12, and this one will run $20 or $25 on eBay, okay? And it's used, and that's how it would be on eBay too. And this was one of my top 5 CDs I was targeting for 2025. So I can check that box that I reacquired this. This would be the last metal album I got into in the 80s before I completely just left metal in the dust. Although it's 1988, and I really was a little surprised by that because I thought I was only into metal up until 86, 87, let's say. But this being 88, I really used to love this album. It's Testaments, The New Order. This will have to be a Love You Long Time, but I can tell you, I don't remember anything about this record at all, other than staring at that cover and listening to it. Had it on vinyl, of course. And another, we've got Megaforce Atlantic, early press on this one. Now this one, like I said, there's a bunch of these on eBay for $20 to $25, $30, what have you. So this was gettable, but I only paid $12 for this one. So again, justifying crazy shipping costs. All right. And yeah, it should be great, man. I'm really looking forward to that one. Both of them. Now here was the sort of coup de grace of this order. This has been on their website for months, going back to December at least. So it's an Allman Brothers concert, all right? And you might recognize the cover. Now each of these were sold separately. The album is Vague, or the label's Vague Records, okay, bootleg label. And what we have here is the Atlanta Pop Festival, all right? International Pop Festival, July 3rd and 5th of 1970. Now that cover looks familiar to you. It's because Allman Brothers ended up putting out an official version of this. And best I can tell, I don't know what the deal is here. Both of these CDs are single CDs, but they're stuck together. They just have them taped together. Let me just get into this a little bit, man. This is why bootlegs will always be around, man. No matter how hard you try to crack down. Music purists, music enthusiasts, we just want the best. We want the most complete, you know? And that official album, and I don't have it. I'm not sure why I never bought it in the first place, because I want to say it came out like 30 years ago. It's been around a while. And anyway, I kind of forgot about that record. And when I went to research these two, all right, you got a separate disc for each date. The third here, the red one, and the yellow one, the 5th. I went to research these and check that out. The third being 2 CDs, and so was the other show, also 2 CDs. Not as long though, okay? All right, so let's just talk about this thing for a little bit. The official album. When I went to YouTube to investigate these shows, okay, came across, it didn't have the photo of this exact release, but it was soundboard version of these 2 shows. Sounds great, really sounds good. It's got some tape hiss, okay. They're even noted on here that you have some songs that fade in, all right. They're missing the beginning. Trouble No More fades out, and the song after it fades in on this one. Don't Keep Me Wondering. Jam at the very end of the July 3rd show. The jam on the end of disc 2 fades out. All right, so you have some limitations like that. But otherwise, you have some really great quality sound, okay? You really feel like you're there listening. It is a little on the maybe trebly side, but not much. I mean, it just really sounds good. What it does have going on with it is some hiss. The hiss kind of varies a little bit, all right? It's loud here and then it goes down, but it's not horrible. When the whole band is playing, it is not an issue whatsoever, all right? It's only the quieter parts of the jams when they slow things down, you know, in between songs, where you would expect that stuff to rear its head. It does. But it's not very bad. What the official album did, and here it is, all right? Atlanta Pop Festival. All right? For one thing, this official release does appear to have all of the songs from both days, which is really cool. It's not like they chinched you on the material. All right? However, in an effort to clean it up, okay, they sort of muted the whole overall sound. A good comparison would be if you had a tape player back in the day and you hit that Dolby noise reduction. Yeah, it reduces tape hiss and it just kind of blunts the overall sound. You know, I had that Dolby in my first real stereo, 17 years old, a Technics rack system. And I would put that Dolby on usually just for a few seconds just to see how it sounded. Most of the time it didn't sound better, it sounded worse. You know, it just kind of took away all the dynamics of the treble, the guitars and treble instruments. So I ended up not using the Dolby noise reduction most of the time. That's a pretty good general description of what you get on the official live album. In an effort to reduce the hiss, let's just put a sort of coating of bass on everything and really kind of mutes the hiss. And it ends up muting all of the tonality of the guitars, drums, voices, everything. It's just kind of all, like I said, sort of muted or blunted. And it just doesn't sound very good at all. And I guess if you only ever bought that album and didn't hear these soundboard bootlegs, you would never know the damn difference. But these sound so much better. And you can get that live album for $10 or under. But once you hear greatness, why settle for less than great? And, you know, yeah, maybe someday I'll end up getting that official album just to support the band, you know, throw it in the collection. But it's not needed, all right? These sound so much better, and I just like the whole campiness of having the bootleg, all right? There's not going to be any fade outs. You're going to hear all the chatter in between songs, all right? And that means a lot to me as a big Almonds fan, having the full-on real recordings, unedited, unobstructed, unmuted, you know? All right, so that was the big purchase, and a buddy of mine, Larry, pointed out that, you know, here's one of them on eBay. Okay, it was just one of these CDs, $67 and $15 to ship it, just one of them. So all of a sudden, $28 for the both of them, and that $28 shipping didn't seem like a big deal. And as soon as I was able to add a couple other discs to the order, it made a whole lot of sense. So there you go. There's the little unboxing. All right, I do got something else to unbox. Check this out. I almost forgot. Something to wear, but I thought you guys would be interested in seeing this because, you know, NFA, I don't know what that stands for you. I know what it stands for when I'm talking music in this house. This is an NFA product, which I kind of dubbed anything I do myself NFA product, but this would be one from the band. Ah, cool, I was expecting the other one. Ordered 2 shirts for this upcoming situation. Man, come on. How cool is this bad boy? That's what I'm talking about. Look at that, man. You know what's up with that movie. You know what's up with this shirt. All right? That's killer. I thought I was getting the other one. I ordered 2 shirts, but surprisingly, it's this one. That's cool. Yes. All right. Anyway, I thought that would be cool to show you guys. I got my ticket yesterday for the IMAX. And I have to tell you, I'm shocked. My cousin actually got us tickets to go. Him and me go back with Pompeii to about 87. All right, when I started watching. I was 17 years old. Might have even been 16, because I think I got it right before my birthday. Got live in Pompeii. Anyway, tickets for that IMAX, they're selling out. I mean, cousin was online when they went on sale, and I don't know, a couple hours later actually, and he said, this theater's half sold out. When are we going? So I got the Sunday date, the second of the 2 dates for IMAX. I'm surprised. I can't believe there are that many people interested in live at Pompeii that it's selling out. So maybe they'll add more dates. They do that a lot with these IMAX shows. So anyway, let's do a little catch up with some bootleg listening. Been listening to a lot, been working a lot, but at least I'm able to listen to music when I get home. I might be too tired to edit videos. I'm not too tired to have a little sip of something and listen to some music. So this Who title, got both of these updated recently. Probably been updated before, but both came out late end of 24, early 25. And this one's called Quadrophenia Special. Okay, Vintage Masters, the label. I got this triple CD for like $10 or $8, I forget. I couldn't pass it up. Soundboard, Philly, and Landover, Maryland, right? Capitol Center, Largo. 3 discs, both shows, all right? And I kind of told you that when you first throw it on, you can hear that little whisper, internet, low bit rate, chirping, whatever you want to call that annoying noise. Yeah, you do hear it until the music plays. And then it's really very hard to hear. Even between songs when Daltrey's talking, it's pretty hard to hear. Now, I'm not saying this sounds awesome. It does sound very good. And how else are you going to listen to this thing? Cranking it, right? The show's great. Grab both of those newer versions, the Who, Landover, and Philadelphia 1973 shows. They're both, I haven't listened to Largo yet, but I'm almost done the Philly show and it's great. They're 2 days apart in December of 73, so I thought I might have just misrepresented the sound quality. If you come across this one for $10 or under like I did, grab it, okay, until you can spend $30 each on those newer versions, which I'm sure sound awesome. You'll be happy as hell with that title. I am. Now some Rainbow, got not too long ago. Definitive Atlanta. Yeah, easy to find, popular show. 78, it was on the radio. That's radio broadcast. Definitive Atlanta here. Now this is just a CDR. I paid like $4 for to get my feet wet. I know this came out about a year ago. Silver press on Zodiac. I'm sure multiple versions of this exist out there. And I have to tell you, I'm really happy with this little purchase. The sound isn't spectacular. It's a little peaking a little bit, so you can't quite blast it as loud as you want, only because you're just going to sort of just get some distortion going on. But you can turn it pretty loud, as I had it, and I was really happy with hearing what starts out anyway, the first half dozen songs. Just Rainbow going at it, one song to the next. And then you do get into some solos in the end. To me, every Rainbow and Purple show, man, there's just so many solos, and they just sort of, you just never get a solid 2 hours of one song after another. Anyway, I'm really happy with it. Of course, you get like Man on the Silver Mountain that's sounding sped up and stuff. I'm fine with that. The original way was the original way, and by 78, they're changing things up a little bit. Title track, Long Live Rock and Roll's pretty awesome. Still I'm Sad is great. Forgot how much I love that tune. But that's a easy to find show. Atlanta 78 from Rainbow. And speaking of Rainbow, I listened to, I'm not sure if I finished this thing because I don't remember hearing the last song Since You've Been Gone, but I heard 80% of Outrage, Hammersmith 81, July 27th to be exact. I think a pretty recent title. This one I picked up used for $15 or something, and I'm really happy with that. Darker Than Blue's the label, and I think it's a great show. Yes, you have some solos going on, and yes, they do slow the show down, typical Rainbow fashion, but they're pretty interesting, and the rest of the songs are really well done. All right, Spotlight Kid's great. Man on the Silver Mountain here is actually pretty cool. Again, it's sped up, of course now we're 6 years past when it started. What else is really good? Can't Happen here is pretty cool. Lost in Hollywood's excellent. Long Live Rock and Roll, that's pretty good. All Night Long's really good. So Outrage is a good one. I read some different things online, but I scoped this out on YouTube before I bought it, and the comments there are, one of their weaker shows. I don't know, man. If this is one of the weaker shows, the rest of the tour must have been outstanding. And I listened to one full show, Boston Third Stage at the Centrum, Wista Mass. There are 4 complete concerts on here, 4 straight shows that they did there. And I listened to August 14th, and I'm started on August 15th, and pretty good stuff. The sound on the first show, it's good, very good, but not awesome. Okay, sounds, like a soundboard, has some limitations of the soundboard. That being that occasionally you'll hear an instrument that's probably not being broadcasted to the crowd. It's in this mix, not a big deal. And overall the sound's good. The drums got that real sort of fluffy mid-80s, super echoey thing going on. I've heard worse, but this is not very appealing to me. A snare drum that sounds more like a than a, you know, and that's what this thing has going on. You start to listen past it, you know, after you get into a few songs, but it never goes away. That's just, I'm sure, how it sounded at that point, 1987, right? But really good show. Brad Delp still sounds, man, he sounds like as good as the first tour. He really does. Just about, like 98%. And I just listened to that 76 Boston show, Cleveland, you know, a couple months back. That sounds phenomenal. Brad Delp still sounds great here. You got a whole different band by this point, though. That's what's kind of, I wouldn't say it's obvious, but you do kind of feel it, that these guys are not the original band from the first two albums. Got Gary Pill on second guitar, who played with Hagar, right? Second show sounds cleaner. The first show does sound a little rough. I'm curious, I didn't look this up. I was wondering if this was the start of the tour. I'm not really sure. August 87. And then finally, I'm still in the middle of listening to the first show from Landover, Memorial Day weekend of 77. All 4 shows on this title. Maryland Moonshine. Greatness here. 4 soundboard concerts. All right. And man, I'm really happy so far. I don't know, there's people that put down this tour, this first show in particular, and not me. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, Page isn't having his best night ever, but overall, things sound great. Bonham sounds great. Plant sounds great. And John Paul Jones is steady and as great as ever. So Jimmy's always your sort of question mark, I guess, when it comes to Zeppelin Live. Nothing different here that I can tell. But he's having a good enough night to me. Just finished 10 Years Gone. That was great. Man, I love that song. Awesome tune. And Since I've Been Loving You on there is also pretty awesome. And what's the opener? Song Remains the Same's good. Sick Again's good. And overall, I'm really happy. If this is one of the weaker shows, I got some great listening coming up. Empress Valley on this bad boy. And another score here. I think I got this for like $70. Write me. All right, you want to talk? We could talk where I'm buying stuff and stuff like that. I did that once before on here, and that company emailed me. Hey, take that video down. Don't be. All right, let's keep Fight Club among the fighters. All right, guys. I'll catch you all later. It's Thursday, but for me, it's like Friday, and I'm off, and I'm off tomorrow, and I'm off the next day, which is killer. Get to finish some of that listening and finish editing that video update video, that is. Man, get your Pompeii IMAX tickets as soon as possible. In the Philly area, it's selling out. It's probably sold out by now. All right, guys, I'll catch you all later. Everyone, cheers.